Good morning, Robert Perry from Portsmouth, Rhode Island. It's primary day in Rhode Island, September 9th, and I wake up to be lied to by Channel 10 and 12. It's a normal day. It must be a day in Rhode Island, because Frank Coletta, our resident teabagger who lives on Prudence Island in Portsmouth because he wants to get away from all the immigrants, first thing he told me was, don't go to the poll if you don't have an ID, you can't vote. And then somebody else came on the air on the same station right next to him and said, but you can vote with your provisional ballot and you won't be screwed out of your vote. In other words, they want you to get screwed out of your vote and get confused by what they first say, and then out of the other side of their mouth they remind you that of course you can vote without an ID. It's called a provisional ballot. Go to the polls or you will lose your right to vote. If you're an older person, maybe you only heard the first thing where they said you can't vote. If your first language is not English, like my grandmother, maybe you didn't understand anything after you can't go to vote without an ID, so you don't go to vote. And then when they get into the complicated conversation about how there are provisional ballots, etc., etc., you confuse the older people and those who don't speak English as a first language. This is bullshit. Coletta's a teabagger. Channel 10 is un-American, undemocratic. They're right-wing teabaggers. Channel 12, on the other hand, all they did was lie to you about the minimum wage. Their lie is kind of couched in a little bit of information. They said only 5% of the people in this country that make a wage make a minimum wage, and half of those are teenagers, and half of those are, you know, people that are maybe special needs or something like that. What a bunch of crap. People that make 25 cents more than minimum wage are not included in that 5%. 50 cents more, $1 more, $2 more. Everybody's wage is affected by the minimum wage. Channel 12, you are the worst kind of teabagger. You are outright Fox News bullshit artists. My name is Robert Scott Perry. The reason I'm talking to you about Channel 12 lying to you about the minimum wage, and Channel 10's Frank Coletta, Mr. Teabag, telling all the little old ladies that they can't go out to vote without an ID, making them both un-American, both stations that is because I want you to remember my name, Robert Scott Perry. The reason I'm running for senator is because I want to put a camera on every cop. That's the first part of my electoral revolution. That's the only thing we can call it. And it can only be done in a non-violent way, most likely only through the Senate. There are 100 senators. I need enough senators to at least put through and win a vote of 100 people that say every cop in the United States of America should have a camera. Another part of my platform is that we raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. There's no discussion about this. Figure it out. Could you survive on less than $15 an hour? And if you can live on $15 an hour and support yourself, go ahead, tell me, tell the news, tell somebody. They'll tell you the truth about what you're saying. You're a liar. $15 an hour is not enough to live on. Anyone that says that it is a liar. You can't live on $15 an hour. But that's all we can give you right now. The rich people stole all the money. We can offer you $15 an hour minimum wage if you vote the right people in. So those are the first two things on my revolutionary platform, as I guess I have to call it. I don't think it's so revolutionary, but the world will. Cameras on every cop, $15 minimum wage. The rest will come. Write me in today against Jack Reed. If not, in the general election, I'll have plenty to say. Remember, Channel 12 lied. The minimum wage is does not only affect 5% of the workforce, it affects something like 45% of the workforce that makes less money because the minimum wage is so low. And go vote. There are provisional ballots at every balloting place. Every primary location has a provisional ballot. If you don't have an ID, go vote. Fill in your provisional ballot. Your vote will be counted. Don't let Channel 12 and Channel 10 steal your vote. Go home, Frank.